Hi everyone, welcome to Tidy TV, where I bring the classroom to you. I'm Hannah, and today I'm going to talk about 3 qualities that I think make a great student. Stay tuned. So I've been receiving a lot of emails these days from current students as well as former students about letters of recommendation. And I've talked quite extensively about getting a great letter of recommendation on this channel. And thankfully, many of you are using those tips when you're reaching out to me. So as I write these letters of recommendation, what I actually find is there are 3 major areas that I look at and I try to kind of highlight in each of these letters. And so these are the 3 concepts I'll be covering today. So when I talk about curiosity here, I'm looking more at intellectual curiosity rather than, for example, IQ or brightness. Most of my students, of course, are bright to begin with, so it's really not the issue just in terms of kind of intelligence or some kind of intelligence metric. But what I mean by intellectual curiosity is I actually feel, from a teaching perspective that you're excited to be there, that you're actually interested in this particular subject area, and that you're excited to contribute. I know sometimes it's also very difficult to feel very excited when it's a required course, so you have to take the course to graduate, and you really have no choice to be there or not. But to the extent possible, it would be great if you could express your interest in the subject matter, and this comes by being prepared with the materials and also engaging with the faculty and your other colleagues. The second point I like to highlight in my recommendations, and also that I like to see in my students within the classroom and also those that I work with, is consistency. And some major questions that you could ask yourselves during this time include things like, do you turn in assignments on time? Do you come to class prepared? And this is not just kind of physical attendance. And oftentimes it doesn't help if you're there physically, but not really there ready to engage. So these are some things that I consider and ask myself very critically as I'm thinking about my students as well. I also like to think of consistency when it comes to your work. So are you consistently for our class, or perhaps even for research projects that we're working on together? Are you preparing, or are you coming up with great work consistently? And the last one is effective communication. And I think this links in quite nicely with the previous 2 that we mentioned, not just curiosity, but specifically when it does come to consistency. Things do happen. You might get sick, you might have an extended illness, there might be a personal emergency. So certainly we understand that these things happen. And if it's because of these things that have happened, so circumstances outside of your control, then certainly, of course, we will take that into consideration when it comes to, for example, missing a deadline or something like that. At the same time, you're also an adult. And as an adult, it's your responsibility to make sure that you keep those people who need to be informed in the loop if these issues do actually come up. So the hardest thing for any faculty member to do is if one of your students goes kind of MIA, it's very difficult to get in touch with that student or even to really assess what the situation is. The same goes with research or even with thesis writing. You should be communicating effectively and as frequently as needed to make sure that everyone who needs to be in the loop is kept in the loop. We want to be able to attest to how effective your communication skills are, not just in the work that you do, but also how you engage with the team. So as you're in a learning environment and engaging with not just your fellow colleagues, but also with your professors, please make sure that you demonstrate evidence, ample evidence of things like intellectual curiosity, consistency, as well as effective communication. I look forward to seeing these very soon in this new semester. And until next time here on Tidy TV, bye!